We've made it through Christmas. This weekend we'll celebrate both Holy Family Sunday and New Year's Eve. St. Jean Jugan loved the Holy Family and chose them as models for the family spirit of our homes. Today I'd like to reflect on Sunday's Mass readings as a conclusion to our video series. I'll be focusing on passages from the book of Sirach and the letter of St. Paul to the Colossians. The first reading for Sunday from Sirach speaks about our elders. My son, take care of your father when he is old. Grieve him not as long as he lives. Even if his mind fail, be considerate of him. Revile him not all the days of his life, for kindness to a father will not be forgotten. This reading is sometimes chosen by families of our residents for a funeral, especially if that person had dementia. It can be a real tearjerker, but it's very beautiful to realize that a family chose this because they never forgot their parent or grandparent, even if that person could no longer remember them. Over the years, I've seen residents who absolutely love going home with family for the holidays, and I've seen families who go to great lengths to make this happen. I've known wonderful families who come in to visit a loved one who can't get out and who bring a lot of joy to other residents at the same time. But I've also seen residents who have been orphaned because they've outlived their loved ones or because their family makes promises they don't keep. There's nothing sadder than seeing a resident all dressed up and ready to go out, waiting for a ride that never comes. So if you have an elderly loved one you haven't taken the opportunity to visit this Christmas season, it's not too late. Give them a call today and spend some quality time with them. Neither you nor they will regret it. I mentioned that besides being the feast of the Holy Family, Sunday is also New Year's Eve. Talking about New Year's resolutions quickly becomes trite, but in the case of family relationships, maybe it's providential that these 2 days coincide this year. In the letter of St. Paul to the Colossians, we read, Brothers and sisters, put on, as God's chosen ones, holy and beloved, heartfelt compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience, bearing with one another and forgiving one another if one has a grievance against another. As the Lord has forgiven you, so must you also do. During the holiday season, you may have experienced a few tense or awkward moments with family members. It's inevitable. If there are hurt feelings, now is the time to forgive one another before we embark on a new year. Now is also the time to make a resolution about being more attentive to your elders in the coming year. I'd like to close out this video series by sharing a passage from Pope Francis's homily at the closing Mass for the World Meeting of Families in Philadelphia in 2015. Faith opens a window to the presence and working of the Spirit. It shows us that, like happiness, holiness is always tied to little gestures. Whoever gives you a cup of water in my name will not go unrewarded, says Jesus. These little gestures are those we learn at home in the family. They get lost amid all the other things we do, yet they do make each day different. They are the quiet things done by mothers and grandmothers, by fathers and grandfathers, by children, by brothers and sisters. They are little signs of tenderness, affection, and compassion. Like the warm supper we look forward to at night, the early lunch waiting for someone who gets up early to go to work, homey gestures, like a blessing before we go to bed, or a hug after we return from a hard day's work. Love is shown by little things, by attention to small daily signs which make us feel at home. Faith grows when it is lived and shaped by love. That is why our families, our homes, are true domestic churches. They are the right place for faith to become life, and life to grow in faith. Jesus tells us not to hold back these little miracles. Instead, he wants us to encourage them, to spread them. He asks us to go through life, our everyday life, encouraging all these little signs of love as signs of his own living and active presence in our world. So we might ask ourselves today, at the conclusion of this holiday season, how are we trying to live this way in our homes and in our society? What kind of world do we want to leave to our children? We cannot answer these questions alone by ourselves. It is the Spirit who challenges us to respond as part of the great human family. Together with our elderly residents, we little sisters wish you a wonderful new year, 2018. May it be a year spent reaching out to warm hearts with your presence and your love.